Good morning. Zeke Matevosian here. What a report to you. Mike Vilardi and Tony Bongiovanni, 9/11 first responders. One of the many reasons the World Trade Center was bombed on September 11, 2001, was to wage war on people of Middle Eastern origin, both foreign and domestic. So that when you hear the oath that military people have taken to fight all enemies, foreign and domestic, if they consider Middle Eastern people an enemy of the state, which they do express that. Mike Vilardi expresses that religiously. He quotes the Bible. Says they will believe, they will attack us and believe they're doing God's will. It's end times doctrine. I think you see, and then so if they want to wage war on Middle Eastern people inside the country, that's forbidden by the Constitution. It's just racism. It's just like the Holocaust, based on racism, based on race, to target a huge segment of the population. That's what they're doing. But so, because it's illegal, they're doing it covertly. It's invisible what's going on. And this is the method they're using. And everything in it, what Anita does is anything, crime that she's committed, abuse she's committed, verbally, she has the skill and tenacity to, no matter what you say, instantly turn what horrible thing that she's done, crime that she's committed, into like she's trying to care for my mom, she's trying to protect her from me. You see, so everything's turned into, night can be turned into day, black into white, so with just the dark psychology method of answer. Every response her and Albert and Sam have given me for 5 years has been to turn Darvo response. And so that the cops use that, they work with the cops, the 2 police stations, and now I know all police stations have me on their list and do not respond to, they target me. Tanya was hitting me constantly, but they arrested me. Anita hit me. That individual, Santa Monica, hit me. So they think we can only do something if there's a crime, but they've taken all of the crimes committed against me that I've reported. Some of them, they've taken the reports, some of them they haven't, but they haven't responded to any of them. They haven't carried out all of the APS reports I've filed, so they've blacklisted me. And so once Mike Vilardi contacted West Valley, and today to have them cooperate with the fentanyl dealer, Justine Taylor. I had restraining order against her. They keep denying it. And then they keep supporting her drug dealing while I had this restraining order against her. And she was doing it intentionally to keep provoking me, and the cops were helping her in that. So Mike Vilardi and Tony Bongiovanni contact the police station, and they tell them to blacklist an individual such as myself who's Middle Eastern, and then so I think MK Ultra was used to make mom keep provoking me and keep calling 911, to go into my private area and have Shirley bite her so that Anita can get restraining order against me and lock me out of my own house, to seize my property. It sounds crazy, and then they use that. They use methods that are crazy to hurt their targets, and then they keep saying you're crazy. The very basis of it is, from the very beginning, Sam Totillo, Anita's dad, started saying, what's your diagnosis? And then Albert found out about Alan and Julie Thompson, who neighbors, retired cop. Alan's retired cop across the street from Mom. First time Albert found out about him, I talked to Alan. He says, "What's your diagnosis?" First time Albert found out about Patrick, Mom's friend, and then he said, "Who's Patrick?" Next time I talk to him, he says, "Oh, do you have mental illness? Yes or no?" That's the method. Are you taking Mom's phone? Yes or no? Now and then everything that they do, they accuse you of. They're accusing me of holding Mom hostage and taking her phone so she can't call for help. They're doing that. They have Mom in a facility, all plugged up. She doesn't have phone to access me. I can't access her. And now they're saying take anger management so you can visit her. I would very much want to know what she's saying. They've brainwashed her now, probably, with these methods they're using. And then they tell the judge in the restraining order has delusion that we're trying to seize the property by using palliative care, which is what they did. Albert did with Vasenik, and he keeps saying it's none of your business what we did. But the whole family, extended family on both sides, have blacklisted me ever since the squatter moved in. The purpose of the squatter, so it's a duplex. It's a crime that involves the instigators at this property was Justine Taylor. It's a team. It's a whole production. At this place is Justine Taylor, and the other address Mom owns is herself. Mom, her extreme problematic behavior, her sadistic tendencies towards her own family members, that Alice died being cancer, and they're mad at me for saying cancer is suicidal, socially acceptable way to commit suicide. I had my brother die of cancer. My sister, John Arpenick, is Mom's older sister. Her husband died of brain cancer. And it was obviously a socially acceptable way to commit suicide because he was trapped in that marriage. There was no way out. He couldn't divorce. Divorce was socially unacceptable. Suicide was socially unacceptable. And everything he said was indicative of that. So the only way out was to die, getting brain cancer. Alice, I have all the healing sessions, Anita, recorded. You know I record everything. We had sessions together. And you can tell she didn't want to, what happened when I was 12, in that 22 minutes ago, she didn't want to face it. She couldn't. I have that session there. If you haven't heard it, I'll send it again, and you listen to it, Anita. Listen to the very end. The very end of it, you see she doesn't want to face what it is. What it is was used to provoke me. And to her, the only way out is to die. There's no other conclusion you can come to than, because she didn't want to face this. I had the final therapy lesson with a therapist that and she said she didn't want to admit what it is. It's too painful. She didn't want to share it with me. She wasn't communicating with me because she didn't want to acknowledge what it is. And what was happening was, it was my first sexual experience was with my own mother when I was 12. And so Anita's asking me, she's mad that I have all these Facebook accounts that I talk about what she's done to me. The Zeke Matevosian case study archive, everything I record, everything I upload, I want the world to know everything. She says, where else have you posted about me? Well, what else? I haven't posted about it on my FedLife account, but it's important to know I pointed her to that. She's going to go look in there trying to find something to frame me. I need people to know this is the life of adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse. On the one side, I have her and the whole extended family scapegoating me using this horrible method with Tony Bongiovanni, Mike Vilardi. On the other side, my sexual fetishes. I want to live in a house full of women. I want to have female to lesbians, bisexual lesbians sitting on me, being my spouse sitting on me all the time, watching TV, eating, doing all their activities, playing on the devices, watching movies, eating, talking to each other, talking to their friends, having parties, all female parties with one. That's that fantasy for some reason. And I say it publicly, no longer as a joke, but because it is very, very different. But for some reason, it's what it is. To live in a convent of nuns who have one male sex slave, or any different varieties of that, like Amazon women, and a population of women who have one individual male to use as a sex slave. That's like my core longing, fixation, because of what it is, what I've been through. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. But for Janet Richmond was saying, my spiritual teacher, that's what it's been for countless lifetimes. I've been member of convents, and then so that was a story with Sanctuary for Traumatized Women. I admit publicly that that's what it was. I wanted to get a house full of women who are adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse to use me as a sex slave and to use me as a scapegoat for the abuse they got from the dads or the brothers, the abusers. I was doing proxy role playing with Tanya, so she could tell me anything she wanted to, because of what I'm her dad or her brother who had abused her when she was reached puberty. Her dad got her pregnant. Her brother was raping her when she was only 4 or 5 years old, and then so I gave her consent to proxy role playing, that I would play her dad, her brother, and she could tell me, cuss at me and slap me and tell me anything, vulgarities, tell me her message to her brother or her dad, in order to, that was my healing modality. And then it was actually done sexually. I was jerking off while she was doing that to me. And like on a phone call, do you understand? And then so the idea of the entire group of women targeting me in a scapegoating me. If you see that eyes wide shut ceremony, women in a circle, that ceremony, and then I'm in the center, and then it's kind of a reverse gangbang. They use me as a sex object, a sex slave, in a kind of and dominate me. And I think this is the first time I've said it so concisely and clearly, and not as a joke. And I'm starting to do that more often. This is what it is. This is who I am. And insight I had last night is, you can be the most strange and unique individual, which I am, one of a kind, like a duck-billed platypus. Doesn't mean you screwed up. You could be a perfect human being and still be one of a kind, weird. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It doesn't mean crazy or bad. In fact, it could mean that I'm good and whole and true. The fact that I've survived after so much abuse, so much gaslighting, psychological torture, it's made me even stronger, and maybe that's the purpose of it. I'm Zeke Matevosian. Get the story on the news.